Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This evening's reciters are dear Vrinda for reading English translation and dear Avni who will be reciting in Sanskrit, and they will be reading from Canto 3, Chapter 24, verses 17 to 32. Dear Avni, would you be able to start with invocation 3 times, please? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jnana Vijnana Yogena Karmana Mudaranjata Hiranyakesha Padmaksha Padmamudra Padampuja. By the mystic yoga and the practical application of knowledge from the scriptures, Kapila Muni, who is characterized by his golden hair, his eyes just like lotus petals, and his lotus feet, which bear the marks of lotus flowers, will uproot the deep-rooted desire for work in this material world. Esa manavide garbham pravishta kaitapardhana avidya samshaya granthim chitva kam vicharishyati. Lord Brahma then told Devahuti, "My dear daughter of Manu, the same Supreme Personality of Godhead who killed the demon Kaidbata is now within your womb. He will cut off all the knots of your ignorance and doubt. He will then travel all over the world." Ayam siddha kanadisha shankacharye susammata loke kapila ityakhyam kantate kirtivardhana. Your son will be the head of all perfected souls. He will be approved by the Acharyas expert in disseminating real knowledge, and among the people he will be celebrated by the name Kapila. As the son of Devahuti, he will increase your fame. Maitreya uvacha tavashvatya jagatshashta kumare sahanarada hamso hamsena yanena tridhama paramam yayo. Sri Maitreya said, after thus speaking to Kardama Muni and his wife Devahuti, Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, who is also known as Hamsa, went back to the highest of the 3 planetary systems on his swan carrier with the 4 Kumaras and Narada. Gate shatatrito kshatta kardamastena chodita yatoditam svaturita pradas vishvashajam tata. O Vidura, after the departure of Brahma, Kardama Muni, having been ordered by Brahma, handed over his 9 daughters as instructed to the 9 great sages who created the population of the world. Marichaye kalam pradat anasuya matatraye shattam ankirase yachat pulastatyaya virбhuvam pulahaya katim yuktam kratavecha kriyam satim khyatim te brigave yachat vashishtayapyarundatim. Kardama Muni handed over his daughter Kala to Marichi and another daughter Anasuya to Atri. He delivered Shraddha to Angira and Havirbu to Pulatsya. He delivered Gati to Pulaha, the chaste Kriya to Kratu, Kyati to Brigu, and Arundhati to Vashishta. Atharvane Dakshantim Yaya Yajno Vitanyate viprasabhan kritodvahan sataran samalalayat. He delivered Shanti to Arthava. Because of Shanti, sacrificial ceremonies are well performed. Thus he got the foremost Brahmanas married and he maintained them along with their wives. Tatastharishayakshatta kritadara nimantyatam pratishtanandimapanna swam swam ashrama mandalam. Thus married, the sages took leave of Kardama and departed full of joy, each for his own hermitage, O Vidura. Sarjavatirnam triyugam ajna अज्ञाय विबुधर्षभं विविक्ता उपसंगम्य प्रणम्य समुद्भासत.
When Kardama Muni understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the chief of all demigods, Vishnu, had descended, Kardama approached him in a secluded place, offered obeisances, and spoke as follows.
अहो पापाय जप्यमानानां निरये स्वैरमङ्गले कालेन भूयसा नूनं प्रसीदन्तीह देवता.
Kardama Muni said, "Oh, after a long time the demigods of this universe have become pleased with the suffering souls who are in material entanglement because of their own misdeeds.
बहुजन्म विपाक्वेन सम्यक् योगसमाधिना द्रष्टुं यतन्ते यतता शून्यगारेषु यत्पदम्."
After many births, mature yogis, by complete trance and yoga, endeavor in secluded places to see the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
स एव भगवानद्य हेलनाम्ना गणायना गृहेषु चातुग्राम्याणां यस्वानां पक्षपोषणा.
Not considering the negligence of ordinary householders like us, that very same Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in our homes just to support his devotees.
स्वीयं वाक्यमृतं कर्तुम् अवतीर्णोऽसि मे गृहे चिकीर्षुर्भगवान्यानं भक्तानां मानवर्धन.
Kardama Muni said, "You, my dear Lord, who are always increasing the honor of your devotees, have descended in my home just to fulfill your word and disseminate the process of real knowledge."
तान्येव ते रूपाणि भगवांस्तव यानि यानि च रोचन्ते स्वजनानामरूपिणा.
My dear Lord, although you have no material form, you have your own innumerable forms. They truly are your transcendental forms which are pleasing to your devotees.
त्वं सूरिभिस्तत्त्वबुभुत्सयाथा सदाभिवार्ताहनपादपीठम् ऐश्वर्यवैराग्यशोभबोधा वीर्याश्रियापूर्तमहं प्रपद्ये.
My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the reservoir that always deserves to receive worshipful homage from all great sages eager to understand the absolute truth. You are full in opulence, renunciation, transcendental fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty, and therefore I surrender myself unto your lotus feet.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Vrinda and Avani. So beautiful recitations, very soft and divine. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, dear devotees, for kindly joining this evening to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and giving the opportunity to speak a few words. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, before we enter into Srimad Bhagavatam, first of all, we shall offer our Mangalacharana prayers. Oh. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांशं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांशाम्। हे कृष्ण करुणसिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृणुतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तस्त्वह्य भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृसतां नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकीम् एते चां सकलाः पुंसः कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयम् इन्द्रारिव्याकुलं लोकं मृडयन्ति युगे युगे इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्मसंहितम् उत्तमश्लोकचरितं चकार भगवान् ऋषिः निःश्रेयसाय लोकधन्यं स्वस्तये नमः कृष्णे स्वदामोपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह खलु न शुश्रूषामेष पुराणार्कादुनोदितः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रये अतिविश्वेश विश्वात्मन् विश्वमूर्तिस्वकेषु मे स्नेहपाशमिमं चिन्निदृढं पाण्डुषु विष्णुषु त्वयि मेनन्यविषयमतिर्मदिपति असकृत् गतिमुद्वाहत गङ्गेव श्रीकृष्ण कृष्ण सख विष्णु ऋषभावनिधृ राजन्यवंशिदहनानपवर्गवीर्य गोविन्द गोद्विजसुरात्य हरावतार योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते
Hare Krishna Krishna
प्रलयामलवेनापि न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवं भगवत्सङ्गसङ्गस्य मच्चानं किमुत शिशः पुनश्च भूयद्भगवज्जनन्ते रतिः प्रसङ्गश सदाश्रयेषु महस्त्वयाम्यामुप्यां सृष्टिं मैत्रस्य सर्वत्र नमोद्विजेभ्यः
Hare
नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरद्विषे नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं श्रीचैतन्यप्रभुं वन्दे बालोऽपि यदनुग्रहात् तरेनानमतग्राह व्याप्तं सिद्धान्तसागरं श्रीचैतन्यप्रभुं वन्दे यत्पादा श्रीविदितः सङ्गृह्णाति आकरव्रातात् अज्ञः सिद्धान्तसन्मनीम् ॐ नमो भगवते राधा गोविन्दाय नमः
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Rama
Thank you so much for kindly waiting.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
I shall share my screen. Okay, so the chapter is renunciation of Kadma Prajapati. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 24. Okay, so today the shlokas are to be covered are 27, 28, 29. Okay, so we'll have a little bit of recap. So Kaddama Prajapati, he has begotten 9 daughters in the womb of Devahuti, and later on on the instruction of Lord Brahma. So he gave 9 daughters to 9 Prajapatis, those children of Lord Brahma. And then later on, he has maintained them for a couple of days in his ashrama. So, Ata Adharvani Adadhat Shantim Jaya Yajno Vidanyate Viprashabhan Krutodvahan Sadaran Samalalayat. Samalalayat. He maintained for a couple of days. So like the son-in-law and daughters. So those children. So in a very beautiful way. That one. Okay, this one. Okay, this picture. And then later on, Kadma Prajapati. So Brahma has left and he has maintained for some time. And then later on, all the son-in-laws, they have taken their wives and then they have gone to their ashramas, their homes. Okay, so tatastha rushayah kshattah krutadhara nimantriyatam. And then pratistan sandhimapannaha swam shwashramam mandalam. They have all gone to their ashramas, their respective ashramas. And then later on, Kadma Prajapati, now it is his time to leave. Now he has got his son, Kapil Bhagavan as well. Okay, so just moving this one here. So Kapil Bhagavan, and then it is time for him to leave. So as previously he was leaving before Kapil Bhagavan was appearing. So at that time, on the request of Devapati, he stayed. Now Kapil Bhagavan is here. His daughters were married. Now it is time for him to renunciation. So and then he met Kapila Bhagavan in the secluded place. Sachavati enam trigum ajnaya vibhudashibham vivikta upasangamya in the lonely place, secluded place. Pranamya samabhashata, and then he has offered his humble obeisances to the Supreme Lord, Kapil Bhagavan, and then speaking. So here, Lord is also addressed as Triyugam Ajnaya Vibhudarshabham. So Kaddama Muni means that Lord is Triyugam, who appears in the Triyuga, Satyuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Treta Yuga. So those yugas, the Lord appears, but in the age of Kali Yuga, he appears like a disguised form, like a devotee of the Lord, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Aham Eva Kochit Brahman Sanyashashirmam Ashritaha Hari Bhaktim Grahayami Kalo Papahatan Naran. He will come as the disguised devotee. Okay, so and then later on, Kaddama Prajapati, he is offering his prayers, glorifying Kapil Bhagavan. So that one we are going to cover today. Okay, so the 24th, 27th shloka. So here he mentions, he glorifies the Lord. In this material world, many people, by their sinful activities, they are under suffering in this material world. And all the demigods are always feeling compassionate towards those people who are suffering in this material world. And now the Lord has appeared, and then demigods are going to be pleased. So, because Lord is going to relieve the miseries of those the devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkrutam dharma samstapanadhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. For that sake, demigods are very pleased. In such a way, Kaddama Muni started offering praise to Kapila Bhagavan. Okay, 27th shloka. अहो पापच्यमानानां निरये स्वैरमङ्गलैः कालेन भूयिसा नूनं प्रसीदन्ति इह देवताः अहो पापच्यमानानां aho with papacyamananam, with those being much afflicted, papacyamananam, with those being much afflicted, niraye, in the hellish material entanglement. This material world is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam. All the time. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam. Every moment we see this one. So many of these incidents. This is a hellish condition. This is Dukkalayam Ashashvatam, but is a temporary. We came here for a temporary being. And by looking at such kind of people who are rotting in this material world, suffering, demigods are Kalena Bhuisa Nunam. And again, after a Kalena Bhuisa, uh, Kalena Bhuisa, after a very long time, Nonam indeed, Presidanti Iha Devataha. So demigods will be very pleased in this material world because the Lord has appeared. Okay, likewise, Kaddama Prajapati is started glorifying Kapil Bhagavan. Aho papacyamananam niryasvaira mangalaihi kalena bhuyasa nunam prasidanti iha devataha. The translation. Kaddama Muni said, "Oh, after a long time, the demigods of this universe have become pleased with the suffering souls who are in the material entanglement because of their own misdeeds." Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, can I request any volunteer devotees to read the purport?
I'll read more, Prabhuji. May I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this material world is a place for suffering, which is due to the misdeeds of the inhabitants, the conditioned souls themselves. The sufferings are not extraneously imposed upon them. Rather, the conditioned souls create their own sufferings by their own acts. In the forest, fire takes place automatically. It is not that someone has to go there and set a fire. Because of friction among various trees, fire occurs automatically. When there is too much heat from the forest fire of this material world, the demigods, including Brahma himself, being harassed, approach the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Law personality of the Godhead, and appeal to him to elevate the condition. Then the Supreme Personality of the Godhead descends. In other words, when the demigods become distressed by the sufferings of the conditioned souls, they approach the Lord to remedy the suffering, and the personality of Godhead descends. When the Lord descends, all the demigods become enlivened. Therefore, Kardama Muni said, after many, many years of human suffering, all the demigods are now satisfied because Kapila Deva, the incarnation of Godhead, has appeared. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so this material world is a place for suffering. It is not that we have come here and buy a very nice permanent house and freehold property. No one would ask us. But still, it is a temporary. This is a place for suffering. So we should not make anything permanent in this material world. That is, it causes suffering. If it is just a rented property, we'll come and then stay for some time and then we leave. But if it is a permanent property, we have to stay there and then make attachment to that one. And we have to put so many things. So this is permanent. But one should think that this place is temporary, ashashvatam. And it is meant for suffering. We should not make anything permanent arrangements. Otherwise, Krishna says it is dukkhalayam. We should not make permanent things. Okay, which is due to the misdeeds of the inhabitants. This material world is full of all the souls, everyone from top Brahma down to little ant. Everything is performing by some kind of misdeeds. So, as Prabhupada says, everyone is engaged themselves in some kind of activity. Of course, Lord Brahma is a pious soul out of all those things. So here, the conditioned souls, due to the misdeeds of the inhabitants, the conditioned souls. So here, when the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, when the lotus flower comes from the navel of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, he sees the totality of the living entities being turned into the bluish because of their sinful activities. So there it is described here. Prabhupada is Chaturyiganam cha sahasramapsu swapan swaya udiritaya swasikyam kalakyasita karma tantra lokan apitan dadrushe swadehe. Lokan apitan. Apitan is the bluish color. Lokan apitan. Lokan is the total living entities. They are turning into bluish. Dadrushe, then Garbhodak Sai Vishnu is seeing them. Okay, they're all situated in the body of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Now it was the time for them to come out from the navel of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu because Kalakya Rasita Karma Tantro Kalakya Asadita. So being engaged by the name Kala, being so engaged. So the time has come, Karma Tantro, in the matter of fruitive activities. At that time, the totality of living entities is turned into bluish. So here Prabhupada has mentioned just in the translation, the Lord lay down for 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas in the metal in his internal potency, and by his external energy, he appeared to be sleeping within the water. When the living entities were coming out for further development of their fruitary activities, actuated by the energy called Kala Shakti, he saw his transcendental body as bluish. So here in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is describing due to the pollution mentality and due to material sins, the aggregate combination of living entities appear to be bluish. Such an impetus of activity for fruitive results is made possible by the dictation of the external energy of Lord Kala. So just when this is what Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu sees, the totality of the living entities, because of their due to material sins, the aggregate combination of living entities appear to be bluish. Okay, coming back to this shloka here. So this is which is due to the misdeeds of the inhabitants, the conditioned souls themselves. This is the place of suffering. Okay, because of the sinful mentality. And then just kala kya the karma tantra to carry out their further activities. So the sufferings are not extraneously imposed upon them. Rather, the conditioned souls create their own suffering by their own acts. So here, one of the statements of Dharma spoke to Parikshit Maharaj, saying that when Parikshit Maharaj is asking bull, which is in the form of Dharma, in the form of bull. So, by the time the Kali Purusha has chopped off 3 legs of Dharma in the form of bull when it is in the bull. Now, bull is on only 1 leg. And then there is a Kali Purusha is there, Parikshit Maharaj is there, the cow Bhumata or Bhudevi is there in the form of cow, and Dharma is there. Parikshit is asking, he says that who is hurting whom. So actually Kali Purusha is taking the stick and then hitting the Dharma. And then there Parikshit Maharaj wanted to punish the perpetrator. At the time he asked for the evidence. He needs a evidence. So at the time Dharma says, Navayam kleshi bhijani yatasyuhu purushashrabha purusham tam vijanim vakya bhed vimohitaha केचित् विकल्पवसना आहुरात्मन अमात्मनः दैवम अपरे कर्म स्वभावम अपरे प्रभुम. It is very bewildering to answer who is the cause for my suffering, O Parikshit. Some people say that it is my sins. Some people say it is the Daiva. Some people say that there is something else. केचित् विकल्पवसना आहुरात्मनमात्मनः दैवम अपरे कर्म स्वभावम अपरे प्रभुम स्वभावम, by their nature, by their own acts. Likewise, Dharma answers to Parikshit Maharaj. Then Dharma does not say that, okay, Kali Purusha is the reason for my problems, even though it is hitting, but Dharma doesn't say that. Because there are different kinds of reasons in the scriptures. Likewise, Dharma says, and then, O Dharma, now, O Parikshit, you are the descendant of the Pandus. Now you are the protector of the religion now. So now you decide what is right and what is not right. You take the actions appropriately. So Dharma is not showing any pointing out. So here the living entities create their own suffering by their own acts. Swabhavam, by their nature. In the forest, fire takes place automatically. It is not that someone has to go there and set a fire. Because of friction among the various trees, the fire occurs automatically. When there is too much heat from the forest fire of this material world, the demigods, including Brahma himself, being harassed, approach the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and appeal to him to alleviate the condition. Okay? So this one, what is the fire? In this material world, it is mainly the one is the tend to enjoy sense gratification. I want to lord it over material nature, identifying oneself with the body, and because of the egoistic nature. And if there are many people coming with different kinds of egos, and then they wanted to show off each other, immediately there is a friction happens and fightings. So just even the Kurukshetra battle, there एवं नृपाणं कितिभार्जन्मनम् अक्योहिनीः परिवृत्ततेजसम्. There, Krishna, so vidaya vairam swasuto yatanalam, vidaya vairam swasuto yatanalam, mito vadena uparato nirayudaha. Because of there so many of sinful people, they have come together in the Kurukshetra battle. And what Lord did? So, vidaya vairam swasato yatanalam. And he made like in such a way that two trees with the friction, they both, like here it is explained, when they rub each other, especially the bamboo sticks, when they rub each other, the fire generates. In a similar way, the Kauravas, they're always envious by their nature. So due to that, there are, and also so many people of that at that point of time, it is a burden to Mother Earth. Bharavataranayanye bhuvanava ivodharu sidincha bhuri bharena jato hyadma bhuvaditaha. So Arjuna prays to Krishna. So Krishna comes here to remove the burden of that, because Mother Earth will be burdened when there are so many of sinful people increased. So at that time, what Lord did, and he has made Vidaya Vairam, Swasuto Yatanalam. He made in such a way that all those, the kings, the envious kings, they fought among themselves, and they themselves, Mitovadena Uparato Niraidaha, Mitovadena, they killed themselves each other, Uparato Niraidaha. And Krishna is just Uparato Niraidaha. In such a way, he was satisfied later on after keeping Yudhishthira in the throne. So here, Lord appears and to reduce the burden on the request of Lord Brahma. When all this, including Brahma himself being harassed, approach the Supreme Lord. Lord comes here and reduce the burden. And then the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends. In other words, again this one is the Paritrana Sadhunam. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanidbhavati bharata abhyudhanam tadatmanam sujamyaham. The Lord descends by himself, sujam aham, by his internal potency. There is no force on the Lord. But for the living entities, they are forced to jatasya hi dhruva mrityuhu dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. And a person who takes birth, they have to die, and who dies, they have to take birth. It is forced. But Lord Sujamyaham, there is no force. He comes by his free will with his internal potency, yoga maya. Okay, in other words, when the demigods become distressed by the sufferings of the conditioned souls, they approach the Lord to remedy the suffering, and the personality of Godhead descends when the Lord descends. Personality of God descends. When the Lord descends, all demigods become enlivened. All demigods become enlivened. So, but in this age of Kali, how it is possible? Kali Kale Namarupe Krishna Avatara. Kali Kale Namarupe Krishna Avatara. So this is Namachintamanihi Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinatvad Nama Naminoho. So there is no difference between Krishna and his name, his qualities, and his forms and everything. It is called Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Krishna's name. So Kalikali Nam Rupe Krishna Avatara. when this name is appearing, Hare Nama, Iva Kevalam, Kalu Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyada. There is no other alternative. We need to take the shelter of holy name of the Lord, Hari. So, and all attractive personality of Godhead Krishna. Okay, when we chant Hare Krishna, we are directly associating with the Lord. So at that time, everything asesha samklesha samam viditte gunanuvada shravanam murarehe kim vah punah charanaaravinda paraga seva ratilatma labdha. Ashesha sanklesha samam vidatte. So many of miseries will be relieved just by shravanam murarehe, just by hearing the Krishna Katha, name of Krishna itself. आपन्नः संसृजं घोरां यन्नाम विवसो घृणन् तत्र सद्य विमुच्येत यद्भिवेमि स्वयं भयम्. Just by hearing the name of the Lord, even the fear personified will fear about the name by hearing the name of Krishna. And that name, whoever is, this is apannah samsityam ghoram. People who are suffering in this material world, in the samsara, this who takes shelter of this name of the Lord, they can be coming out this material signs. Okay, that is how he will relieve the distress. So here demigods become enlivened. And therefore Kardama Muni said, after many years of human suffering, all the demigods are now satisfied because Kapila Deva, the incarnation of Godhead, has appeared. Okay, so here likewise Kardama Prajapati is glorifying the Lord, Kapil Bhagavan. And his incarnation is also described like he has got the golden hair, Hiranyakeshah, Padmakshah, Padmamudra, Padambujah, Ayam Siddhaganadishah, Loke Kapila. So Loke Kapila, with the name of Kapila, he will become famous by expounding this Sankhya philosophy. So all the symptoms of the God, whenever he appears, they're all described. Okay, so like here, Kapila Bhagavan is being glorified by Kardama Muni. Okay, and then we shall move to the next shloka. And here, Kardama Muni is mentioning that, oh my dear Lord, after so many lifetimes, yogis who failed to achieve you, even though they go into the some secluded place and then they meditate. And finally, at the end of their life, and finally they will be successful of so many births, then only they will achieve you. Likewise, he is glorifying. So it is 28th shloka. Bahujanma vipakvena samyak yoga samadhina drashtum yatente yatayaha sunyagareshu yatpadam. Bahujanma vipakvena, and many after births, vipakvena, which is matured after so many lifetimes. One is completing his devotional service. Bahujanma vipakvena, completely matured. Samyak yoga samadhina, and samyak is perfect, yoga samadhina, by trance in yoga. Samyak yoga samadhina. Drashtum yatente yatayaha, and they will see after the complete of their perfection, they will see drashtum yatente, they endeavor yatayaha, the yogis, sunyagareshu, in secluded places. Yatpadam, and Yatpadam, whose feet. So these sages, they will see the lotus feet of the Lord in the secluded places after maturing themselves after so many births. There is one shloka in the Bhagavad Gita. Can anyone say that one? Bhagavad Gita 7:19, it seems, I think. Anyone? Bahunam
जन्मानन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यन्ते वासुदेव सर्वमिति सा महात्मा च दुर्लभा.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. So that is Krishna says, after so many lifetimes, they came to understanding that Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samahatma, Sudurlabha. Such kind of people are very rare. This is the perfected yogis are also very rare. But these yogis, they go to the secluded places. But in this age of Kali, it is very difficult for us to go. So Tata Parichatma Samadhi Yoga Bhalena Jitva Prakritim Bhalishtam Twameva Diraha Purusham Vishanti Tesham Sramah Sena Tu Sevayate Just how much easy for the devotees, they simply engage themselves in the devotional service here instead of going to the forest places. They will attain the supreme abode of the Lord. Just tesham shramah syanut sevayate, without going through all austerity, those penances, very hard penances. It is very difficult. They needs to control all the senses by prakritena. That is, tada parichatma samadhi yoga balena jitva prakritim balistam. It is very difficult to conquer the senses, control the mind. So here, Kaddama Prajapati is mentioning Bahu Janma Vipakena, Samyak Yoga Samadhina, Drashtum Yatante Yatayaha, Sunyagareshu Yat Padam. The translation: after many, many births, mature yogis, by complete trance in yoga, endeavor in secluded places to see the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, can I request other devotee to read this purport?
Can I, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Some important things are mentioned here about yoga. The word Bahujanma, Vipakvena, means after many, many births of mature yoga practice. And another word, Samyog Yoga Samadhina, means by complete practice of the yoga system. Complete practice of yoga means bhakti yoga. Unless one comes to the point of bhakti yoga or surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's yoga practice is not complete. This same point is corroborated in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam janmanam ante. After many, many births, the Jnani who has matured in transcendental knowledge surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kadamba Muni repeats the same statement. After many, many years and many, many births of complete practice of yoga, one can see the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord in a secluded place. It is not that everyone practices some sitting postures. He immediately becomes perfect. One has to perform yoga a long time, many, many births to become mature. And a yogi has to be practicing in a secluded place. One cannot practice yoga in a city or in a public park and declare that he has become God simply by simply by some exchange of dollars. This is all bogus propaganda. Those who are actually yogis practice in a secluded place, and after many, many births, they become successful, provided they surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the completion of yoga. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Here, the purport Prabhupada is mentioning, after many, many births of mature yoga practice. So the word Bahujanma Vipakvena, Pakva means Pakva Phala, the matured fruit. And here, this is Janma Vipakvena. And when a person takes birth and then he progress further, and then if he leaves his body before completing that one, he will take another body and resumes from that point. So that's why when we engage ourselves in the devotional service, that is not lost. This is Neha Vikramana Sosti Pratyavayuna Vidyate Swalpamapyas Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Trayate Mahato Bhayat. So if we just progress on that ladder of Bhakti Yoga, even though it is not complete, but still we are assured to continue that one, Bhakti Yoga. In order to continue Bhakti Yoga further, we need at least human life. So we are not fallen into the lower species. That is safe. This is Trayate Mahato Bhayat is a protection. So here and another word, Samyak Yoga Samadhina. This is by complete practice of the yoga system. So then Lord will be very pleased. So this is Tvayaham Toshitaha Samyak Veda Garbha Sistrukshaya Chiram Brutena Tapasa Dustoshaha Kota Yoginam. When Brahma, he performs yoga, this penance for long time, Lord says to him, Tvayaham toshitaha samyak veda garbhasi srukshaya, chiram brutena tapasa, chiram brutena, after so long time, tapasa, dustoshaha kota yoginam. And Lord is not pleased with who is posing simply that they are doing penance, but inside sense gratification things. But outside it's a pose. Okay, so that the Lord does not please with such kind of people. So here, complete practice of yoga means bhakti yoga. Unless one comes to the point of bhakti yoga or surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's yoga practice is not complete. So we have got, there are ladder of yoga, when karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, and then bhakti yoga. And Krishna says bhakti yoga is the topmost. That is the topmost position. Then he will go back to the Godhead. If I wanted to become one of the citizen of Vaikuntha planet, I must follow the rules and regulations of the Vaikuntha planet. If I wanted to go to some country, I need to follow that rules. If I wanted to visit the president, I must establish a relationship to enter into that palace. In the similar way, to enter into the Vaikuntha Loka, one must be completely Yanti Anjasa Achyuta Padam Achyuta Priya Bandhavaha. Achyuta Priya Bandhavaha. We need to establish the relation between the Lord and ourselves. Then it is very easy. Yanti Anjasa Achyuta Padam, it will be very easy. Otherwise, it is not difficult. It is not possible. If I say that I'm very intelligent, and then please allow me to come into your home, means that is nothing to do with. So unless there is a relationship and love, Lord does not allow. So either karmic person, he is always in his sense gratification and things. Jnana yogi means he is in some kind of contemplation and merge into the impersonal Brahman. So, and there is no chance. And then dhyana yoga, who is meditating on the personal form of the Lord, they will go to the Lord. But it is also meditating on the dhyana. Arjuna says that yoyam yoga swaya proktaha samyena madhusodhana napasyami param napasya. So he could not say that it is practical for Arjuna to perform dhyana yoga when Krishna describes in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna says it is not possible. Later on, Krishna gives the steps in the 12th chapter. Okay, so you need to Maya Sakta Mana Yogan Yunjin Madashriya had those few steps. First of all, you need to fix your mind, everything on me, and send it on to me. If it is not possible, then you engage yourself to serve me somewhere or other. And if it is not possible, then renounce your fruits of results. If that is also not possible, then you cultivate the knowledge. So in such a way, Krishna gives step by step how to come back to. So that is the topmost. Yoginam api sarvesha madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajite yoma samayukta tamo mataha. That is the topmost yoga. And by that, even it is topmost yoga, in order to get that one, we need the mercy of the spiritual master. Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Kurpaya Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. He is the topmost person, Bhakti who has received the devotion. He is the Bhagyavan. Okay, and also without the touch of a spiritual master or a pure devotee of the Lord, it is not possible for anyone to go into the spiritual world. Vina Yatpada Mahatpada Rajobhishekam. So Rahuguna says, Rahuguna etad. So Jadabharata says to Rahuguna that Vina Mahatpada Rajobhishekam, unless one is bathed in the dust of the lotus feet of the devotee of the Lord, he cannot attain that position, that transcendental position, and enjoy himself like Jadabharata was enjoying. Okay, so the devotee touch is required, and devotee means who is in the bhakti, practicing bhakti. So here, the same point is corroborated in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanamante, after many, many births, the jnani who has matured in the transcendental knowledge surrenders onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then this is Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samahatma Sudurlabhaha. And that Mahatmas are Mahatmanastu mam paddha. Mahatmanastu mam paddha. Daivim prakritim ashritaha. Daivi prakritim ashritaha. There are two kinds of prakriti. One is Daivi prakriti, that is spiritual world. Another one is the material world. In the material world is Mahamaya is ruling. Durga Devi is in charge of this material world. She carries out the instructions of Krishna. Srishti Siti Pralaya Sadhana Tektereka Chaya Vyasya Bonani Bhibhatti Durga Ichchanurupam Apicheshtatesam. It is on the wish of Krishna, on the will of Krishna. She carried out all Srishti Siti Pralaya Sadhana Tektereka. That is her duty in this. That's again. And the same Durga Devi in the spiritual world, it is a Gokuleshwari. So his same personality, one is the Mula Prakriti. So Radharani is the Mula Prakriti in the spiritual world, and her expansions in this material world, she is Durga. She builds all the living entities that they are the bodies. They make her illusion in such a way, all the living entities think that they are the bodies. Okay, so but in this material world, it is very difficult to cross this materialness signs. That one, Lord also says that one. Daivi Hiesha Gunamahi Mama Maya Dhrutyaya. This is Mama Maya Dhrutyaya. Here one says Mama Maya Dhrutyaya for the materially conditioned people. But whereas the devotee, Mahatmanastu Mampad, the Daivim Prakriti Mashitaha, they have taken the shelter of Radharani. Daivim Prakriti. Prabhupada gives in that shloka, it is Radharani. Okay, so that is how this is Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kashchid Yatati Siddhaye Yatamapi Siddhanam Kashchin Mam Veti Tatpataha. So many people they try to end, they will endeavor for the perfection. Out of many people, very few people go through. That is very challenging. But if they are going through devotional service, nothing is lost, but they will accumulate everything that Brahma Sampatya, Vishoko Brahma Sampatya, Samchenadvait Samsayaha. This is Brahma Sampatya is the asset of spiritual assets. And Kaddama Muni, so here, whenever we are chanting and associating with the devotees, everything goes into the spiritual asset. But we need to make sure that we are properly chanting, properly following rules and regulations, giving attention. This is our solid spiritual asset. Okay, so that we carry out, that will carry to the spiritual world. And Kaddamam repeats the same statement after many, many years and many, many births of complete practice of yoga. One can see the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord in secluded place. So one of this is Yayo Paramahamsa Mahamuninam Anveshaniya Charano Chalayan Sahasrihi. So whenever the lotus feet of the Lord is being glorified, when the Lord is walking along with the goddess of fortune, the Lord Brahma describes all these many sages. Yayo Paramhamsa Mahamuninam Anveshaniya Charano. They always search for that lotus feet of the Lord. And then this one is describing, there are so many things just coming to whatever is spontaneously coming, trying to share. Okay, so that is, it is not that after one practice, some sitting postures immediately becomes practice. This is not the right way. So one has to practice means giving up the sense gratification and follow rules and regulations. We start with the Vidhi Bhakti, following rules and regulations. Later on, when we gradually doing, absorbing in that one, that mood, this is Bhava Bhakti, enter into the Bhava. And then after that, Prema. Yes, in the mood of Prema, so one would relish so much of pastimes with the while associating with the Lord in his service. Okay, and one has to perform yoga a long time, many births to become mature, and the yogi has to practice in secluded place. Suchaudese pratistapya vijitasanasana tasmin swasti somasena tasmin swasti samasena rujukaya samabhyaset. So he sit in a Sudishnanam Ekadese Manasa Prana Dharanam Vaikuntalela Abhidhanam Samadhanam Tadatmanaha. Once he sit in a posture Sudishnanam Ekadese at one particular place, and then Vaikuntalela Abhidhanam. Vaikuntalela. So he remembers the pastimes of the Lord. That is called Samadhi. That is called Samadhi. Remembering about the Lord is called Samadhi. When we chant, we remember all the Krishna's pastimes, Lord in the Vrindavana pastimes, Dwaraka pastimes, so many of those pastimes. This is, one has to remember those pastimes when we are chanting and associating. Of course, Bhagwan Shabda Gojaraha. We need to hear our sound vibrations and also remember those pastimes of the Lord. Okay, and this is, so yogi has to practice in secluded place. One cannot practice yoga in a city or in a public park and declare he has become God simply by some exchange of dollars. This is all bogus propaganda. Those who are actually yogis practice in secluded place, and after many births they become successful, provided they surrender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the completion of yoga. Then we would see the airplane. Dadarsha Vimanagryam. This is the airplane from the Vaikuntha. Dhruva, for the Dhruva Maharaj, for the sake of Dhruva Maharaj, when it comes, it described like that airplane. And there are so many airplanes in the Vaikuntha. People who are completed their yogas in this material world, they'll go in the airplanes. Of course, it is Bhakti Yoga, devotees of the Lord. Otherwise, for the Jnanis, they will merge in the Brahma Jyoti. But devotees who have got relationship with the Lord, so Achyuta Priya Bandhavaha, they will Yanti Achyusa Padam, Yanti Anjasa Achyuta Padam. They will go very easily. For them, these airplanes will come. And then further, that is from this particular shloka, 28, and we shall move to the next 29 as well. So what else further Kardama Prajapati is mentioning, and now the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is appearing to those devotees after many births, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, today he has appeared in my family. And so I'm just like an ordinary family man, but Lord has compassionately appeared in it. And previously Lord has given his word that, O Kadma, I am going to appear as your son in the womb of Devahuti. And then in order to fulfill that, now Lord has appeared. And here he is always on the side of the devotees. Likewise, Kardama Prajapati is glorifying. Saeva Bhagavan Adhya Heranam Naganayyanaham Griheshu Jato Gramyanam Yaswanam Pakshaposhanaham. Saeva Bhagavan Adhya, that very same Supreme Personality of Godhead. Saeva Bhagavan Adhya. Here, Saeva means whatever we have discussed in the previous shloka, that Supreme Personality of Godhead is available for matured yogis. That Supreme Personality of Godhead today, Saiva Bhagavan Adhya, Heladam Naganayyanaham. Heladam is the negligence. Generally, materialistic people, the families, they do not care about the Supreme Personality of Godhead that much seriously. Heladam Naganayanaha, Na Ganayanaha. So here, negligence, no, is not Ganaya, considering high and low. Naha, our Griheshu Jato Gramyanam. In the houses, Jataha, the Lord has appeared in this house. Gramyanam, of ordinary householders. Of ordinary householders. Yaswanam Paksha Poshanaha. And he is always on the side of his devotees. Swanam of his own devotees. Paksha Poshanaha, who supports the party. Okay, likewise, Kadma Muni is glorifying. Saeva Bhagavanajja Helanam Naganayanaha Griheshu Jato Gramyanam Yaswanam Pakshaposhanaha. The translation, not considering the negligence of ordinary householders like us, that very same Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in our homes just to support his devotees. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, can I request two devotees? One devotee read the first paragraph, another devotee read the next paragraph.
Can I read Prabhuji, please?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Okay, let me know when to stop, Prabhuji. Oh,
The first paragraph, Mataji.
Prabhuji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Devotees are so affectionate towards the personality of Godhead that although he does not appear before those who practice yoga in a secluded place, even for many, many births, he agrees to appear in a householder's home where devotees engage in devotional service without material yoga practice. In other words, devotional service to the Lord is so easy that even a householder can see the personality of Godhead as one of the members of his household. As his son, as Kardama Muni experienced, he was a householder, although a yogi, but he had the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapila Muni, as his son. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, you request other devotee to take your time to read next paragraphs, please.
Can I
Hare
read
Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Sakshi Mataji. It's fine.
Naina Mataji, you can read. I can read the next one.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you.
Devotional service is such a powerful transcendental method that it surpasses all other methods of transcendental realization. The Lord therefore says that he lives neither in Vaikuntha nor in the heart of a yogi, but he lives where his pure devotees are always chanting and glorifying him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Bhaktavatsala. He is never described as Jnani Vatsala or Yogi Vatsala. He is always described as Bhaktavatsala because he is more inclined towards his devotees than towards other transcendentalists. Shall I carry on, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Or Mataji wants to take over?
Yes, Mataji, section.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Naina Mataji. Hare Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that only a devotee can understand him as he is. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. One can understand me only by devotional service, not otherwise. That understanding alone is real because although Gyanis, mental speculators, can realize only the effulgence or the bodily luster of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and yogis can realize only the partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A bhakta not only realizes him as he is, but he also associates with the Personality of Godhead face to face. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So here, Prabhupada is describing devotees are so affectionate toward the personality of Godhead that although he does not appear before those who practice yoga in secluded place, even for many, many births, he agrees to appear in householder's home where devotees engage in the devotional service without material yoga practice. So here, one of the statement Lord says to Narada Muni, Yatra madbhakta gayanti, tatra tishtami Narada. So one statement he mentions. So here, in other words, devotional service to the Lord is so easy that even householder can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead as one of the members of his household, as his son. Now, there are so many pastimes of that, especially with Krishna. Okay, and also Krishna's form like Jagannath, Panduranga, and so many other names, Dwarakadesh, so many names are there. And again, Sakshi Gopal. Can anyone mention other names? Laddu Gopal.
Madhusudana.
Yes. And in the recent times, there are so many pastimes with the Lord. We used to hear from the devotees. Okay. These are all on the level of relationship with the Lord. Some mother may be looking Lord Jagannath as his son and feed nice prasadam. Okay, likewise the relationship. So here, Supreme Personality of God has one of the members of his household as his son. As Kadamuni experienced, he was a householder, although a yogi, but he had the incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapila Muni, as his son. Okay, it is very rare, but it happens only to the devotees. And here Prabhupada is describing devotional service is such a powerful transcendental method that it surpasses all other methods of transcendental realization. This is, again, it is mentioned, Lord Brahma in his prayers that all the karma and the jnana, everything is by completely rejecting and they surrender, they are simply offered obeisances unto you, my dear Lord. In such a way, they will simply attain the perfection. That is the topmost one. By devotional service is the topmost. And the Lord therefore says that he lives neither in Vaikuntha nor in the heart of yogi, but he lives where his pure devotees are always chanting and glorifying him. Always chanting and glorifying him. Ye tu charanam bhosha, there is one beautiful shloka in Brahma's prayers. Ye tu tvadiya charanam bhoja kosha gandham jighranti karna vivraihi srivatanitam bhaktya gruhita charana parayajatesham na paishanada hridayam burhasva pumsam. So there Lord Brahma describes Ye tu tvadiya charanam bhoja kosha gandham jighranti karna vivraihi srivatanitam. And through the years, they heal always glories of the Lord, chanting. Now, there, the Lord's lotus feet always in the heart of the devotee. So Lord will never ever leave from such kind of devotees. So the Brahma prays, it is third canto, chapter 9, verse 5. It is very beautiful shloka. Ye tvadiya charanam bhuja kosha gandham jighranti karna vivraihi sivatanitam bhakcha gruhita charana parayata tesham na paishanada hridayam burhasva pumsam. Very beautiful. Okay. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Bhaktavatsalaha. Bhagavanapi Govindo Brahmanyo Bhaktavatsalaha. So Yudhishthira inquires Arjuna, how is the Bhagavanapi Govindo Brahmanyo Bhaktavatsalaha? How is Krishna is doing in the Dwaraka? When Arjuna visited Dwaraka, to understand what are the Lord's plans. It is before Krishna departing to his abode. So, and then Arjuna went and then returned back to Yudhishthira, and then Yudhishthira is inquiring from Arjuna, how is our Krishna? Bhagavanapi Govindo Brahmanyo Bhaktavatsalaha. He is always Bhaktavatsala. Tulasi dhala matre na jalasya chulikeena va vikrineti swamatmanam Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavatsalaha. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami quotes this one. So, Tulasi Jalamatrena. Jalasya Chulikena va. If we offer one Tulasi leaf with a little bit of water to the Lord, Vikrenete Somatmanam Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavatsalaha. He will sell himself. If a devotee is coming with a one love and devotion, giving one Tulsi leaf, oh my dear Lord, from today onwards I am yours. Then the Lord is Vikrinete. He will sell completely himself to that devotee. Vikrinete Somatmanam Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavatsalaha. He is Bhaktavatsala. He is inclined to devotees. Apicha Darshanam Shashvat Sarvaloka Namaskrutam. Apicha Darshanam Shashvat Sarvaloka Namaskrutam. Santam Vaishiki Shore Brutcha Anugraha Kataram. Brutcha Anugraha Kataram. He is always ready to give benediction to his devotees. He is always in the youth. Santam Vaishikai Shore. And the Lord is so beautiful. Apicha Darshanam Shashvat Sarvaloka Namaskrutam. Everyone worships that Lord. He is all Bruchanugraha Katal, inclined to the devotee, Bhaktavatsalaha. And also he will he will look after his devotees also like that. Appyeva Maria Bhagwan Paripatidhina Vatsriya Vatsakam Anugraha Katarosman. So this is one of the statements of Dhruva Maharaj prayers. The last two lines of the last shloka, I think 17th shloka. Okay, this is a 412, 4912. Sorry, 4917. Okay, so that shloka there, Dhruva Maharaj says, Appyeva Maria Bhagwan Paripatidhinan Vatsriya Vatsakam Anugraha Katarosman. You will protect your devotees just like a calf. A mother cow protects its calf. Likewise, you protect your devotees by giving all the benedictions to them. At the same time, they do not fall down into the material pool. Likewise, Lord protects his devotees. Even the devotees sometimes have got material desires, but Lord make sure that they do not fall down too much. But those devotees who have surrendered to the Lord, okay, they are protected. He is always Bhakta Vachala. And here he is never described as Jnana Vachala or Yogi Vachala. So we see in the past times, there is a Durvasa Muni and Ambarish. So Durvasa Muni is Jnana, he is a Jnani, but whereas Ambarish is the Bhakta. He is inclined to always the Bhakta Vachala, not Jnana Vachala or Yogi Vachala. So yes, he is always described as Bhakta Vachala because he is more inclined toward his devotees than toward his other transcendentalists. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that only a devotee can understand him as he is. Bhakcha mam abhijanati. Bhakcha mam abhijanati yavana shashmi tatpataha. Tato mam tatvato jnatva vishide tadanantaram. And they understand Krishna completely. Vishide tadanantaram. Later on, they enter into the word of the Lord. This is by love and devotion. This is Krishna again, he also says, in the 11th chapter also, he says, once again stresses after showing the Vishwarupa form, Bhakcha tu mam ananya sikya drashtum, they only can see by rendering devotional service unto me, not by any of studying the Vedas, not by worship, not by performing penances, yajnas, not by all those things. Na Veda, na tapasa, na chejjaya, na vedaihi, not by all of these things, but only through bhaktya. Bhaktya tu ananya sikya drashtum with Arjuna. So likewise, Lord says to Arjuna, only by the devotion only, not by yajnas and all those stuff. But of course, there are just only different steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, like that, before they come to touch the devotional service. And then the understanding alone is real because all the jnanis, mental speculators, can realize only the effulgence or the body luster of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And yogis can realize only partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A bhakta not only realizes him as he is, but also associates with the Personality of Godhead, face to face. So this is evam bhagavato rupam brahmanaha paramatmanaha daivi pradhana purusham daivim karma vichesitam. So again, Kapil Bhagavan describes that one about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has got brahmanaha paramatmanaha param pradhanam purusham daivim karma vichesitam. Purusham is the complete Shadaishwarya Purno. Yadadvaitam Brahmopanishadi Tadapyasya Tanubha, the effulgence of the body, that is the first feature. That is the first Brahman effulgence. Yadadvaitam Brahmopanishadi Tadapyasya Tanubha Yatmantaryami Purusha iti Swashamsha Vibhavaha. The Paramatma is his expansion. Paramatma is his expansion. And then Shadaishwarya Purno, Yeha Bhagavan, Sasvayam Ayam, Na Chaitanyat Krishna Jagati Paratatvam Paramiha. That Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is not different from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has appeared with all his 6 opulences. Shadaishwarya Purno, Yeha Bhagavan, in this mighty Lord Bhagavan, Sasvayam Ayam, Na Chaitanyat Krishna Jagati Paratatvam Paramiha. That Supreme Personality of God, he is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes. That is complete. Krishna is the Yede Chamsha Kalaha Pumsaha Krishnastu Bhagavan. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. But it is not used for other incarnations. When all incarnations, they may be called Bhagavan in the separately, individually, according to the context. When all incarnations, all forms are kept in side by side around all of them, 26 of them, then out of all those things, Krishna is the Swayam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Everything Etecha Amshakalaha. There are the expansions or expansion of the expansions. There are Sekta Veshavataras, Purushavataras, Gunavataras, and Leelavataras, Manvantaravatas. But whereas Krishna, this is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is complete personal. He is source of all other incarnations. He is the avatari. And here devotees, they approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhakta not only realizes him as he is, but also associates with the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. That is the only opportunity for the devotees, not for the jnanis or karmis. Okay, likewise, Prabhupada is describing here. So here, Kadama Prajapati is glorifying the Lord. My dear Lord, you have very direct to the devotees, so that's why you have appeared in my home. So Saiva Bhagavanadya Helanam Naganayanaha Gruheshu Jato Gramyanam Yah Swanam Paksha Poshanaha. He is always Swanam Paksha Poshanaha. He comes and then to give pleasure to his devotees. Madbhaktanam Vinodardham. He performs and he carries out so many things for the pleasure of his devotees who have surrendered themselves unto the Lord. Okay, I stop there. I request the devotees, if you have got any questions, kindly ask, or if you have got anything to share, kindly share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I'm just thinking of yoga. I mean, it confuses me because the highest yoga is Bhakti Yoga, which we are striving for and we trying to practice. And sometimes we're told the ordinary yoga, which this verse is saying that it shouldn't be practiced openly in the public sector. But Bhakti Yoga can be practiced anywhere, surely, no?
Yes.
And how do we get engaged in the physical yoga? Because it was, we were made to understand, I believe, that we don't even need to think about that area of practicing yoga that way.
So that was the pressing the nose and then controlling breath. That is not yoga. I think Prabhupada, one of the conversations Prabhupada's with his disciples, and next to his apartment, they are doing some gymnastics there. That Prabhupada was explaining this one. So it is not possible for them. It is just only the physical body, even though they control. But what is the purpose of physical exercise? Is this to extend the life or something self-realization? But that is Hatha Yoga comes like Pranasya Sodhayen Margam Pura Kumbhaka Rechakaihi Pratipulena Vachittam Yatahtiram Achanchalam. This is Pranasya Sodhayen Margam. This is the way of performing yoga. Pranasya Sodhayen Margam Pura Kumbhaka Rechakaihi. And like just inhaling and exhaling. Pura Kumbhaka Rechakaihi Pratikulena Vachittam. And once inhale here one side, and then leave here, and again pratipolena vachitam yatahtiram achinchalam, and then once again inhale other side and then exhale other side. In such a way, keep doing it at one side. Yatahtiram achinchalam. Pranayamaihi dahedhoshan dharana abhishekilbishan pratyaharena samsarghan dhyanena anishwaran gunan. So this is Kapila Bhagavan describes how one has to perform this yoga. Pranayama hi dahedhoshan. By the pranayama, all the doshas will be nullified. Pranayamaihi dahe dosha dharana bishikil bishan. No more sinful activities. So like this one, it is described. Let me just Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 28. He describes that one very beautifully. This is the Pranasya Swadayel Margam Porakumbakare Chikaihi Pritkulen Vachittam Yathastiram Achanchalam. The yogi should clear the passage of vital air by breathing in the following manner. First, he should inhale very deeply, then hold the breath in, and finally exhale, or reversing the process. The yogi can first exhale, then hold the breath outside, and finally inhale. This is done so that the mind may become steady and free from external disturbances. This is the process. And then further, he also describes that Mano Achiratyat Virajam Jitaswasasya Yoginaha Vayugnibhyam Yataloham Matam Chajiti Malam. And like he needs to perform Mano Achirat for a long time. Whenever he performs that one, Achirat in his soon, he will attain Virajam. Virajam is the free from the disturbances. Jitaswasas yoginaha, who has controlled his senses. Breathing control. Jitaswa, okay, here breathing is control. And then Vayugdibhyam yataloham matam chajitavai malam. Just like when the impurity, let us read this translation. The yogis who practice such breathing exercise are very freed from all mental disturbances, just as gold, when put into fire and fanned with air, becomes free from all impurities, giving the analogy. And then further he says, pranayamaihi dahe doshan, dharana kilbishan, pratyaharena samsarghan, dhyanena adishuran gunan. So by practicing the process of pranayama, one can eradicate the contamination of his physiological condition, and by concentrating the mind, one can become free from all sinful activities. By restraining the senses, one can free himself from material association, and by meditating on Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become free from the 3 modes of material attachment. These are the steps. Hare Krishna. So if these steps are followed, then it is called yoga.
So yeah, I think free from the 3 modes of material nature. That's if you're totally pure devotee, isn't that right? When you really surrendered and you're on a different plane, instead of living, and you're not contaminated with material.
Yes, so these are the steps to be followed for a yogi who is at the secluded place and performing all these steps. Later on, he is going to concentrate himself on the beautiful form of the Lord. That will come later on. This is only beginning steps. But at the end, he will be coming to the Lord's personal form to meditate upon.
Yeah, okay, I understand now. Thank you.
This is initial steps. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Jai Mataji, raise your hand.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you firstly, as usual, for an amazing class. I have got a question. I think it's verse 28, where we were just now. And it said, after many births, one becomes mature. So, because I was thinking of Dhruv Maharaj here. Because within just like 6 months, he perfected everything and he managed to find the Lord. So are we to think that Dhruv Maharaj was an exception to this many births, or are we to think that Dhruv Maharaj in his previous, so he was accumulating, he was doing many penances in his previous life, and in this life then he almost came to an end, and that's why he saw the Lord. So how should we see this as? I don't know whether I made myself clear or.
Yes, Mataji, so your question is right and appropriate. So Dhruva Maharaj's determination, it is very, very hard. It is not possible for ordinary householders to go in such a, and also even to compare. In the first month, just only once in 3 days, one fruit, and after 6 days, some leaves, and after 9 days, once just only the water, and then 12 days once, just only the air. It's not that much easy to follow for a householders or ordinary people. But he has achieved at the age of 5 years and are the following the instruction of Narada Muni. There is a blessings of Guru. And there Narada Muni also mentions when he speaks to Uttanapada that Lord is protecting Dhruva Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj's determination that I wanted to see the Lord and his steps following is very rigidly. So that's why Prabhupada says, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Saranam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarvapapibhyo Mokishyami Masucha. How much time it would take? It take a minute. 1 minute. Prabhupada gravely says it takes only 1 minute. But are we ready to surrender ourselves within 1 minute? That is up to our level. Dhruva Maharaj's determination is complete. There is no material. Of course, there is a desire, but he is approaching the Supreme Lord. But by his process, completely freed from all kinds of contaminations, first of all. And he is 5 years old only, no more other things, speculation. His mother gave instructions, Narada Muni gave instructions, now he is determined. And he focused that part he very beautifully describes that one in the 8th chapter, how he has captured the Lord within his heart. That is determination. If we determine like that, we can also get in this lifetime. It does not take even 6 months also, just a few hours. Even Kim Pramattaihi Bahubihi Parokshaihi Hainaihi Ha Varam Muhurtam Viditam Gatate Shreyase Yataha Varam Muhurtam Viditam. Varam Muhurtam is around 40 plus minutes. That much time is sufficient. Sukadeva Goswami says, Varam Muhurtam Viditam Gatate Shreyase Yataha Kim Pramattaihi Bahubihi Parokshaihi Hainaihi. What is the use of extending the life and taking so many births also? Just 40 minutes, just to understand the philosophy. Sukadeva Goswami statement. Prabhupada's statement, 1 minute is sufficient. Sarvadharman Parityajya.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this many births doesn't have to be many births.
This is here mentioned to Jnani, or the yogi who is going to secluded place, and then he performs some yoga, and then mind is disturbed, again come home, again tomorrow, again going there, and then that is how he try to meditate. They meditate on the impersonal Brahman. This is what Jnanis, they wanted to merge themselves in the impersonal Brahman. That is their ultimate goal, Saijya Mukti.
Yes, okay, thank you. Yeah.
And then later on, once he is matured, later on, when he come in contact with the devotee or something like that, then his path to the Vaikuntha Loka is clear. Thank you, Mataji. Any other questions, dear devotees, or any sharings? Thank you so much, dear devotees, for kindly hearing and giving this opportunity and staying with the journey, the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so no questions. Now we shall conclude our session for tonight.
Dharmasya Kripasindhubhyo
Patitanam Vaishnaveभ्यो namo namaha Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice class. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hari
Prabhuji. Very nice
Bol,
class.
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Right.